Welcome back to the Microbe World channel. Today we return to the microscopic universe to follow C on another thrilling daily adventure. Deep inside the dark and cozy follicle, apartment number 101, our little bacterial friend C is waking up very slowly. The temperature here is an absolutely perfect 37 degrees Celsius, and the humidity stays at a wonderful 100% constantly. C stretches on a soft and shiny bed made of natural sebum oil, feeling incredibly comfortable in this warm and safe environment. The walls of the hair follicle cave shimmer with a gentle pink light, creating a beautiful and peaceful atmosphere for our friend. C lets out a big yawn, looking straight into the camera with sleepy eyes, clearly not ready to start this busy morning. He mutters to himself about how perfectly peaceful the morning is, wishing he could just close his eyes and sleep longer today. But hunger quickly strikes our little friend, reminding him that a growing bacterium needs a very hearty breakfast to survive the day. He slowly crawls out of his shiny oil bed, grabbing a tiny spoon to prepare for his favorite meal of the day. With a cheerful smile, C scoops up a generous portion of thick golden liquid, which is the delicious sebum produced by humans. He eats the golden sebum with absolute delight, savoring every single drop of the rich nutrients that give him energy to thrive. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind blows down from the opening of the cave, bringing an unexpected and terrifying threat to him. Tiny white glowing dots float down through the air, illuminating the dark cave and causing a massive wave of panic for C. These glowing dots are oxygen molecules, and for an anaerobic bacterium like C, they represent the ultimate danger to his very existence. C panics and frantically grabs a thick blanket made of dead skin cells, pulling it tightly over his head to hide immediately. He trembles under the blanket, complaining about who left the door open and let this toxic oxygen flood into his peaceful home. Breathing even a tiny amount of this highly reactive oxygen could instantly destroy his delicate cellular structure and end his life forever. Fortunately, his cozy cave is located deep enough within the skin layers to provide a safe shelter from this deadly oxygen invasion. After the terrifying oxygen breeze finally passes, C slowly peeks out from under his dead skin blanket, feeling relieved and much safer. He cautiously crawls toward the entrance of his cave, making sure to stay well hidden within the comforting shadows of the follicle. Looking up toward the bright surface of the skin, he observes a completely different world, filled with harsh light and abundant oxygen. Up there, a lively group of pale yellow spherical bacteria is happily dancing around, completely unaffected by the dangerous oxygen-rich environment. These cheerful neighbors are Staphylococcus epidermidis, or staph for short, and they thrive on the skin surface, where C could never survive. C raises his tiny hand and waves a friendly greeting to Staph across the invisible boundary that separates their two distinct worlds. Staph waves back enthusiastically, showing that despite their different lifestyles, they maintain a peaceful and respectful relationship on this vast skin landscape. C explains to the camera that Staph is a tough neighbor who acts as a crucial frontline defender against invading fungal pathogens. In return, C works hard in the depths to maintain the perfect acidic balance on the skin, keeping the entire ecosystem stable. They might not be the closest friends, but they both understand that their survival depends entirely on this delicate and complex partnership. Without their combined efforts, the entire facial ecosystem would quickly fall into complete chaos, leading to severe problems for their human host. C feels a sense of pride in his important role, knowing that his hidden work is essential for maintaining a healthy environment. He decides to take a short break, sitting comfortably on a soft lump of sebum to digest his breakfast and relax peacefully. Everything seems perfectly calm again, and C begins to daydream about a continuous supply of endless, delicious sebum flowing into his home. But the peaceful silence is suddenly shattered when the sky above the cave entrance turns completely dark, signaling an impending catastrophic event. A massive shadow falls over the follicle, and a terrifying rumbling sound echoes through the deep tunnels, shaking the walls violently around. C stares upward in absolute horror as a gigantic wave of milky white liquid comes crashing down like a devastating chemical tsunami. This is not the comforting golden oil he loves, but a highly aggressive substance filled with explosive microscopic spheres of pure destruction. The explosive spheres are benzoyl peroxide molecules, specifically designed to release massive amounts of atomic oxygen deep into the vulnerable hair follicles. C screams in sheer terror, dropping his spoon and running as fast as his tiny microscopic legs can possibly carry him away. He desperately scrambles toward the deepest, darkest corner of the follicle, praying that the deadly chemical wave will not reach his sanctuary. Behind him, the milky white tsunami violently crashes into the upper levels of the cave, instantly obliterating everything in its destructive path. Poor bacterial friends who were caught near the entrance are immediately dissolved by the explosive atomic oxygen, vanishing without a single trace. C watches the horrific destruction from his dark corner, his heart pounding as the deadly wave creeps closer to his hiding spot. He begs silently, hoping the destructive benzoyl peroxide will lose its power before it can penetrate the deepest layers of his home. The atomic oxygen acts like a microscopic buzzsaw, ruthlessly tearing apart the protective cell walls of any bacteria unfortunate enough to remain. C covers his eyes, unable to witness the terrifying massacre of his fellow microbes, happening just a few micrometers away from him. The chemical storm rages on fiercely, filling the entire upper cavern with blinding flashes of white light and highly toxic oxygen bubbles. Every second feels like an absolute eternity for our frightened little friend, who is curled up tightly into a tiny, trembling ball. He remembers the warning stories passed down by older bacteria about these sudden chemical attacks that wipe out entire colonies in seconds. This ultimate weapon, used by humans to clear their skin, is an apocalyptic event of unimaginable scale for our poor friend C. The powerful chemical reaction continues to sizzle and pop, breaking down the thick sebum blockages and completely clearing the once clogged follicle. C holds his breath, trying to conserve whatever little safe air remains in his tiny refuge at the bottom of the cave. The toxic wave slows down slightly, thick white foam bubbling aggressively just a microscopic distance away from his fragile, protective skin blanket. He can feel the intense heat generated by the rapid oxidation process, making his usually comfortable home feel like a blazing furnace. Just when he thinks his life is finally over, the violent chemical reaction begins to lose its terrifying momentum and slowly subsides. The blinding white light gradually fades away, and the deadly atomic oxygen bubbles start to dissipate into the surrounding empty open air. A heavy silence falls over the devastated follicle, leaving behind a completely sterilized environment that looks nothing like his former cozy home. C remains frozen in fear for a long time, unsure if it is safe to emerge from his dark and secure corner. Slowly and cautiously, he pokes his tiny head out from under the protective dead skin blanket, scanning the completely altered surrounding landscape. The once thriving bacterial community has been entirely wiped out, leaving C as one of the few lucky survivors of this tragedy. He crawls out into the empty cave, his tiny body trembling uncontrollably as he surveys the destruction caused by the benzoyl peroxide. Despite the terrifying ordeal, C realizes that he is still alive, and his resilient spirit slowly begins to recover from the shock. He looks directly into the camera lens, letting out a sigh of relief after narrowly escaping becoming a piece of roasted bacteria. A mischievous smile forms on his face as he notices a familiar golden liquid starting to seep through the damaged cave walls. The human host has just consumed a large amount of spicy food, triggering the sebaceous glands to rapidly produce a fresh batch. A thick drop of rich golden sebum drips down from the ceiling, landing right in front of C with a satisfying splash. He knows that as long as the human experiences stress and lack of sleep, the precious oil supply will never run out. C confidently declares that he will soon rebuild his community and return much stronger than ever before in this dark, oily sanctuary. He grabs his tiny spoon once again, ready to feast on the fresh sebum and begin the rapid process of cellular division. The resilient nature of these microscopic creatures ensures that they can quickly bounce back, even after facing the most devastating chemical attacks. This endless cycle of destruction and rebirth is a normal part of the fascinating microbial life hidden deep beneath our human skin. We must remember that these bacteria are not purely evil monsters, but essential components of a complex and delicate biological skin ecosystem. The ultimate goal is never to completely eradicate them, but rather to maintain a healthy and harmonious balance across the facial landscape. By understanding their unique behaviors and preferences, we can effectively manage our skin health without causing unnecessary harm to the beneficial residents. C waves cheerfully to the audience, his energy fully restored as he dives back into a fresh pool of delicious golden oil. The camera slowly pulls back, leaving the dark and cozy follicle behind. As we return to the bright surface of the skin, we see millions of other tiny follicles, each hosting its own unique microscopic drama in this vast and incredibly diverse biological universe. The text on the screen reminds us about the true nature of our little friend C, who fears oxygen but loves darkness. Another message appears, emphasizing the crucial importance of keeping these microscopic populations balanced rather than trying to destroy them completely with chemicals. We are left with a fascinating interactive question for the audience about their preferred method for dealing with these stubborn bacterial residents. Do you prefer using powerful benzoyl peroxide or gentle salicylic acid to keep C and his friends under control on your face? Share your thoughts and personal skincare experiences in the comments section below, and join our community of passionate microscopic world explorers today. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey, and we will see you next time on the amazing Microbe World channel.